Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Right Guys podcast. Oh my gosh, James Comey. Oh, what did you do, dude? What did you do? And now your hosts, Josh Hammerling and Max McGuire.
Welcome back. We can explain exactly what he did. James Comey posted a photograph. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. Let's see if I can pull it up. I actually didn't have it. He posted a photograph on his social media with a caption. And so let's all not pretend that we're idiots, right? He posted this picture on social media. He said, oh, your video's up. We gotta remove that. He posted this picture, which he says he just so happened the former FBI director wandering on the beach. Think about all of the square miles of beach in the United States. And it just so happens that the former FBI director who tried to throw Trump in prison on bullshit charges just so apparently happened to come across what he called a formation of seashells. A formation of seashells, shell formation on his beach walk, pretending that this would be like a natural occurrence. And what he did, and I'm going to operate on the assumption that he made this, right? Because let's dispatch with the lunacy that right place, right time, James Comey just happened perchance to stumble across this shell formation. And what it says is the shells are designed to say 8647. 86, anyone who's ever worked as a waitress, if something's off the menu,
you
say, hey, do we still have it? What do they say in the back? 86 it.
Yeah, it's no good.
86 it.
No good. Yep.
It's gone. Some people use it to mean get rid of someone. Get rid of something.
Yeah.
But increasingly, 86 has come to be used as slang to kill. Here is Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Merriam-Webster's dictionary, if you look it up in the dictionary, it will not say to kill. And the reason that they give that is, let me make my screen bigger so I can read it. Among the most recent senses adopted is a logical extension of the previous ones with the meaning of to kill. We do not enter this sense due to its relative recency and sparseness of use. So because it is relatively recent that people have used the term 86 to kill, Merriam-Webster doesn't have it in their dictionary. But they acknowledge that it is an actual definition. And they use all of these sources, citations, Toronto Star, Newsday, the New York Times from 1991. John Kiffner said, I hate to see the guys always getting 86, she said, using military jargon for killed in action. Not fair. If this was military jargon in 1991, would the former FBI director be aware of it?
Even if so, let's try to give Comey the benefit of the doubt here, even though I can't stand the guy. I detest him. If he had grown up with the word 86 and you got 86 from a bar, it means you got kicked out permanently, right? Permanently removed. So maybe he's just stuck in 1970 something or later. And he just playfully used the word 86. I could make the argument that it was just an old-timey slang that he used for a joke, a one-time old-timey slang, right? He's found something old, threw that out there. So for the to give him the reasonable doubt, right? We'll just assume that he was just going deep back. Like this is the one-off. He chose a really old-ass word, and it obviously didn't go well because you use it today, and like even if you got old military equipment, it gets 86. That means you destroy it.
Yeah.
So he's got an out here, but this is a one-time deal, Max. Like I don't think they've used this in a while, have they?
Well,
anybody,
we
really.
know that Gretchen Whitmer, he pulled up this image, but we know that, let me remove my screen. We know that Gretchen Whitmer years ago was on camera, and this made the rounds because while she can realistically say, I didn't know, it still meant 86 meant to kill it 86.
Forever. They impeached and did, right? Like if they were doing 86, impeaching's the way to do it. I mean, look at all the stuff they get to hide behind. But it's not a one-off, though, is it?
No.
This is like a psyop, right? 86-45, 86-47. My question then is, do you think anybody actually like tried to kill the president over something like this?
Well, this
Right?
is the problem. This is the problem. And there have been some people who have pointed, I think like Charlie Kirk years ago wrote like 86-44.
Wow.
The world changed when Donald Trump took a bullet to the head.
Yeah.
The world changed when a second assassin snuck up onto his golf course after trying to get explosives from Ukraine to take him out, and tried to shoot and kill him with an SKS rifle. Right? When politicians start taking bullets to the head, there's a necessity to take a step back and to say, okay, you know what? If a word has two meanings, but one of the meanings is kill him, I shouldn't say the word. Because with great power comes great responsibility. With a great audience comes great responsibility. James Comey cannot be putting out on his social media anything that even remotely is defined as kill Trump. Right? And here's the problem that Democrats have. Which is it? Is he so smart and he's the one who can lead us to greatness? Or is he too dumb? You can't have it both ways. You can't say that he was a top cop and he was too dumb to know that 86-47 meant something terrible. And listen, I don't know if he's going to be able to get away with the, I didn't know. Yeah. I would venture to say, and this is why I really hope that the Trump administration leads him into a perjury trap. The way that he sent those agents to go after go after Flynn and all those other people in the Trump administration, lead him into the perjury trap. And you know what? Go through every piece of paper that crossed his desk. Josh, they were putting so many eyeballs on conservatives and conservative media. I guarantee you there was a memo at some point in time when people were posting 86-44. I guarantee there was a memo that said this actually could be a call to violence. Lead him into the perjury trap. Get him to say, I have no idea, and then prove that something came across his desk where he knew it.
And, I was going to mention that too. There couldn't have been a thing that couldn't have come across his desk used as slang or in a case or verbiage in somewhere that would say, 86, this means to kill. Like he was the top officer of the FBI, essentially. He should know some verbiage, some lexicons out there that deal with these words inside of context when it means murder, when it means to get rid of. Like he should know the context of those words, and especially how they would be applied to the person that they're talking to. So I got to imagine the guy's got a deep vocabulary too. You don't become the head of the FBI without having like a serious vocabulary. I bet he knows crazy ass words, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't understand the meaning of 86.
No, and he does. Well, let's just dispatch with the lunacy. He obviously does.
Yeah.
He's trying, like, his whole defense is, it's like, I didn't make this in the sand. I came across this shell formation, right? I didn't know that 86 meant to kill the president. I just posted it for my millions of followers because I thought it meant get rid of him, right?
Yeah.
What Trump said when he was interviewed yesterday is he doesn't think that James Comey should get the benefit of the doubt, because at the end of the day, he is still a dirty cop. Right. So this isn't the first time we've heard from James Comey. James Comey is a dirty, dirty cop. He puts his finger on the scale for politics. Right. And I say, with great power comes great responsibility. Freedom of speech. The limit for freedom of speech is not what people always used to say, which is yell fire in a crowded theater. No, you're allowed to yell fire in a crowded theater, especially if there is a fire. Where it becomes criminal, if you say something that could incite imminent lawless action. 8647, based on what that actually means, could incite imminent lawless action, an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
By law, he should, at the very least, have to hire an attorney and deal with this.
But is he flaunting the presidency and the law because he's part of a deep state that has been running things? Like, he was the lawman, and he seems to be acting like he has power now to say, hey, this guy needs to be 86th. I mean, there's hubris here. A hubris that makes me think that he's still connected. And when he was the head of the FBI, was calling some crazy shots.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this isn't messaging he hasn't had before. And why does he act like he's above the law in everything he's done? I mean, you want to talk about the top candidate for deep state. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you James Comey. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like, he's done some really weird stuff. Oh my God.
Does it surprise you that this is all happening a couple days before his new book drops?
Are you serious? Oh my God. Is he doing this just for the likes and the looks?
Yeah.
What the? That's worse than the other shit.
Yeah. Injecting himself into, because what his publisher said, hey, your book's releasing. No one's buying it because you're a dirty cop. You got to get some attention so that people buy it, so that you can go on news shows and talk about it. Right. Wow. So yeah, all this comes out less than a week away from his new crime novel.
Oh, it's a crime novel.
Yeah, it's a crime novel.
I wasn't looking. I was so flabbergasted by the timing of this thing. Wait, he's writing a crime novel? I kind of want to read it now to see if he hid how he went after Trump in there and somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to see if there's a few things that show up. I'm
like OJ, if I did it. Like,
yeah, right. But he's in a perjury trap. He knows he is. Like, I mean, do they go after it?
If the government wants to walk you into a perjury trap, they can do it, right? Yeah. He has now put himself into the crosshairs. And whether he meant to or not, this is a dirty cop. This is a guy who abused his power for political purposes, refused to prosecute Hillary Clinton. Yeah, refused to prosecute Hillary Clinton, even though by the statute, she had broken the law, only to turn around and, as soon as Trump's in office, try and entrap his own advisors to throw them in prison. I don't think this one's going to go away as fast as some of the other ones. I don't think this is.
I mean, and on its face, I mean, you would just have to present this podcast, that statement you made, as evidence in the trial, and it could be proven and shown, right? Like, he's screwed. But does he care? If there is a deep state, they're supporting him right now. So do they really go after him? I mean, are there charges going to be brought? And if so, if he's even popped, can he just admit to it, become a felon? Like, he's not going to do that, right? He's going to have to fight this in some way. So he's going to reach for those deep state friends.
Here's the thing, right? 8647 can be defined as kill Trump, right?
I don't know. Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Keep going.
I don't know how far he will get with the argument. I didn't know that, because he's already started with the obvious lie of, I just happened to come across this shell formation. No, He drew it in the sand with shells. I would guarantee it. Right? He did that, or someone he was with did that, and he took a picture of it to try and be funny.
But this is an impulsive act. I mean, now I'm his defense attorney, right? This is just an impulsive act as he put it out there. He just meant he needs to be kicked out and just removed from office. That's all he means. That's all he means. That's all he means, Max. Just like at a restaurant. You muted yourself.
So I'm gonna look for something real quick.
That's the first defense I'm gonna make there. Like everybody has different understanding of those words. It goes back to the Clinton thing. It depends on what your definition of is, right? What's your definition of relations, right? You could argue that 86 means tons of different things over many, many decades. It may not be used, but it still exists in people's minds. So that's just all he meant. He just wants to get kicked out. He's no longer allowed in this bar, Your Honor.
That might
be a tough one to fight.
That might fly if there was impeachment. If Donald Trump was underwater in the polls. If there was a groundswell to remove him. There is no political pathway to remove Donald Trump from office. There is not.
None. No.
Right?
No,
there is not. We just saw yesterday or the day before that inflation for April actually went down. So we actually had deflation, which in the long term, deflation can be scary, but it's not scary when you've had artificial inflation that has led to the dramatic increase in the cost of goods, right? It's okay for things to get a little bit cheaper. Mm-hmm. Like that's not the end of the world. That's what we want. Yes. We don't want deflation
massive
to the tune of like 10%, 20%. No, you don't want that. No. It's potentially even scarier than crazy inflation. Mm-hmm. So you can't argue that this is just a political movement. Oh, I'm just talking about him losing the next election. Oh, well, he can't run for re-election again. I'm just talking about impeachment. Well, the Indian guy from Detroit who wanted to do the impeachment, he missed the deadline. He wasn't even able to force a vote. Right. So the impeachment articles are literally dead.
Yeah.
Because this guy, no surprise, the guy who has a very faint grasp of the English language missed the deadline to file his impeachment articles, and no one would help him because no one wants to deal with it, right? There is no alternative. Donald Trump won. He has consolidated power. He is more powerful now than he has ever been in office. There is no other way to remove him, Josh.
No.
You could say pipe dream, well, maybe we win re-election and maybe we win the midterms and then we impeach.
I hope
there don't. There is no method. There isn't even a pathway, Josh, for the FBI to go after him because the Supreme Court gave him presidential immunity. The only mechanism, the only realistic mechanism to get rid of Donald Trump is the same mechanism that scumbag used in Butler, Pennsylvania.
And I thought that's where you were going, because how often did you say in many other shows, you start with attacking them personally, then you start attacking them with the law. You start attacking them with the full weight of government. When none of that works, when it all stops working, the last way to take him out is to take his life.
Yeah.
And, the statement still rings true today because I see you just laid out a really good argument for why, like if he had to testify in that way, that 86 has to mean to kill him now because he can't be removed politically, can't be removed by any other force other than Almighty God or death. So a really hard argument still to make because he's just an absent-minded old man who's well-intentioned.
Yeah.
Not to bring up the her thing today, but they might release that. And to say that James Comey doesn't know what 86 means, like,
imagine if he had not put 8647. Imagine if he just said, kill Trump. And he said, whoa. I didn't mean kill him, unalive him. I meant to put an end to or cause the failure or defeat of something. No, I didn't know people are using that word for violence. I meant like to kill the bill in committee.
Yeah. Exactly,
Yeah.
Your Honor.
You know what this sounds like? And we all know someone like this. Someone who believes they are so smart they can get out of anything.
Yeah,
That
I
no matter
definitely see
what
that
they
scenario.
do or what they say, they've got a technicality for why they shouldn't be held accountable. Like, oh, 86. Yeah, I actually was referring to what busboys and waitresses say when there is something taken off of the menu.
Yeah, that's
Like,
just my
it's
comment.
very interesting. Very interesting that you told me that 86 means to kill. I was using it as a restaurateur.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like no, no,
It's not like a
no.
homonym. It's just not like you can be like kill and kill, right? It's not a homonym, you know?
Josh, the FBI has put people in prison for posting memes.
I know. Yeah.
What happens when the former FBI director, and I'm convinced he'd made this because you don't come across a formation. What happens when the former FBI director takes the time to put seashells in the shape of a series of numbers that means kill Trump?
You just said
You,
something
you,
there
you
that I
can't let
think the
nothing happen.
technicality is, did he make it or did somebody else put it? Because the text with the original post was, I found this today, so I decided to take a picture of it, essentially. I'm paraphrasing, right?
Yeah. Shell formation. Thought it was interesting.
So I posted it up. I didn't mean
Yeah.
that, Your Honor. I mean, the context of why I took that photo and posted it is far different than the context that you're laying out. My client's not a killer. He doesn't want Trump killed. He's just would the former director of the FBI want to do that to somebody? I mean, it just sounds like the sleaze arguments that are going to start coming out. And I even jumped on the First Amendment one, right? Even if so, he's got a right to say he wants to kill the president. I mean,
Your Honor,
86.
Your Honor, I wasn't personally saying all of the Hutus should go out and massacre their Tutsi brethren.
Wow.
I was just manning the switchboard. I was just manning the control board at the radio station. I didn't say it. I was just sharing what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When it's this level of a call to action, it's a call to action. Right? It wasn't 86-47.
I object, Your Honor. It was just a work of art that he appreciated. And that's what they're going to, like, where do you think they're going to take it? They're going to rebut every way they can, man. And so where do we grab them on the procedure lie, though?
So you use the unlimited money that the federal government has, and you force James Comey to do what Flynn had to do, which is he had to sell his home to pay for his own legal defense.
Yeah.
He was on the brink of bankruptcy to pay for his own legal defense for bullshit that James Comey put him through for no reason whatsoever. So yeah, you know what? Those are all arguments that James Comey will make. But he, for all of how stupid he now claims to be, I didn't know, he is a smart man. And he knows that a lawyer, it's a bad idea for a lawyer to represent themselves.
Yes.
Period. Full stop. He will not represent himself. He'll pay for a lawyer. Let him go bankrupt. Let him have to sell his beach house or his vacation home or sell his boat or whatever it is he has.
He's got a book coming out. So
his book.
Royalties.
Yeah. Make him have to lose those book royalties. Why not? Right? Why not? Force him to have a little stress. Right. Just a little bit of the stress they put other people under.
And you've got to go after people that do stuff like this, because if not, people that have that kind of power will do it unchecked until it gets to a point where they rule.
He destroyed people's lives because a Clinton campaign operative told him and the FBI that Donald Trump and Donald Trump's people were Russian assets. It was a game of frickin' telephone. If that's enough to ruin people's lives, what do you do to the former FBI director who posts on their own social media something that can literally be defined as kill Trump?
Yeah. Yeah. And I just probably take 5 years, $500,000 for Comey, maybe more, maybe $1 million to mount up a defense. It'll probably happen, for the next 4 years. It either goes super fast or super slow because it's the Trump administration. So does he ever actually see justice? That'd be the thing. Does he just sit there and keep getting extensions on this kind of court case forever and ever and ever? I mean, it's got to be cut and dry in order for there to be a real case to go to trial, be decided on, and that he goes to jail or not, right? So we all know that some court cases can take forever.
Yeah.
Is that what he's
Oh,
going to
for
do?
sure.
Delay.
Oh, for sure.
Is this a kind of case where you can walk out and say he means to kill him?
But
and
like
make it stick?
this reminds me of what we were talking about just the other day with South Africa, right? Where they literally have huge gatherings with concerts where people on stage sing and shout, shoot to kill the Boer, the farmer, brah, brah. That's kill the white man. And they can say this and then in the next moment say, oh, well, we weren't saying kill the white farmers. We were saying this in like an artistic sense. An artistic sense.
Sure. It's just free expression.
It doesn't pass the smell test, especially when you have people being killed. Again, if we lived pre-Butler, I think the argument that Comey's making has a lot more weight.
Yeah.
But after a president takes a bullet to the head, it's up to everyone to look at their language and say, hey, you know what? Am I calling for a president to be assassinated right now?
Yeah.
Is what I'm about to post in any way, shape, or form a call to assassinate the president? If so, you don't freaking post it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Comey posts it, and then after he pulls it, because he does pull it, he essentially, and I paraphrase again, that he abhors violence and wants no part of violence. And he didn't know, Max. He didn't know that it was calling for violence. And he's so sorry, because once he realized what it was, I got rid of it. And I'm such a good person for doing it. And you should immediately forgive me, because I didn't mean it. So did he know it was violent, or did he not know it was calling for violence? The other thing is that, has James Comey ever directed anybody to do something violent?
Yeah, I mean,
one of my questions.
Under the force of law, right?
Yeah.
James Comey is the kind of person who believes that he is so morally justified that he is the star-spangled man with the plan, right? I mean, that's what they used to say about Captain America, but that's who he was. He was the top cop. He was justice. He was morality. And if you even contemplated removing him from office, you were obstructing justice itself.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
He is the kind of guy who believes that okay, you know what? The ends justify the means.
Yeah.
It's okay to entrap Trump officials. We need to get them out of the office. Right? I mean, that is how he was. I mean, he was an ends justify the means guy.
Is he loved by the Democrats? I mean, would you say that he is loved by them or loathed? I don't think they hate him. I don't think they loathe him. I think they kind of love Comey for the most part. I mean, he was their man for many, many years.
Yeah.
Do you feel that there's a political bias here? Just a tiny bit of political bias?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're not willing to admit it, because to admit that he just called to kill Trump would undercut everything he's done so far, right?
Well,
again, he is the virtuous one. He is the one that calls the ball on just balls and strikes. He is not the one talking about extrajudicial assassinations of sitting presidents. No, it would destroy it.
So if he is convicted, let's say he is magically convicted of calling for violence to Donald Trump, would that undermine every case he's had that dealt with Donald Trump? With any person that was associated with him? Because at that
No.
point, there would be such bias on the head of the FBI.
You wouldn't be able to do that, but they could charge him, right?
Okay.
I mean, they could put him on a no-fly list. I mean, do to him what they did to Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh.
No-fly list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make their life miserable. Like they went after
yank a passport.
They went after people in Trump's orbit for far, far less. If you walked in the Capitol on January 6th, they took air marshals and put them on flights that you were on.
Holy
just
crap.
Because you were there, right? There should be an air marshal everywhere James Comey goes. He shouldn't be able to go anywhere. If you're calling to assassinate the president, no fly list.
So did James Comey actually post this, or does he have like a team that does it for him?
He posted it.
All right, so they can't sit there and try to say it was part of my team right before my book. You know, I didn't mean for them to put that out right before my book comes out. I didn't mean that. It was an accident.
That's what he's going to claim.
I don't know. I never liked him. He hated Trump from the start, dude. He hated Trump from the start.
Yeah.
The Steele dossier should have been enough to tell everybody that he was a complete lunatic. I mean, there's nothing there. It was fabricated material. It was all narrative that did not exist. It was unprovable. Yeah. And they went after they impeached him twice for that. Twice. Well, once for the first time. Second time, I don't know. They was just trying to get rid of Trump. But now he's back. And you got Comey calling for the death of. Do you really think he's calling for the death of the president there, though, Max?
It doesn't matter. As the former FBI director, he would know that that's what that means. He would, and he would understand that even if it means take him out, get rid of him, nix him, he's smart enough to understand that there are no impeachment avenues, re-election avenues available, right? And so it's going to be hard. I don't think he will ultimately see prison, because I think he can, for a man who always believes he's the smartest person in the room, I think he's going to do a very good job at playing dumb.
Yeah,
I think he'll probably get out of it for that. But if there's any justice in this world, he should be forced to endure just a percentage, just a fraction of what he and his ilk put Trump supporters and the Trump people in Trump's orbit through with their witch hunts. Just a fraction. Just give him a little bit. Give him a taste.
And a taste is expensive. Taste can be real expensive when it comes to the law and having to get lawyers. I don't know. What else it really bugs me that we had an FBI that was willing to go after a sitting president and a non-sitting president, and to call for the end of that president, even after all the other avenues are exhausted. Yeah. There's 2 assassination attempts, whether we like it or not. One just didn't get close enough. The other one shot him in the ear.
And that's the one. Those are the ones that we know about, right? Those are the ones that we know about. They won't tell us about the ones that they foiled. And they won't even tell us about the ones that we know happened. We still know nothing about the Butler shooting. We know nothing.
Another scary thing. We
know as much about the Butler shooting as we did about the Las Vegas concert shooting, where all those people died. It's the same kind of thing. They tell you things until they stop.
Yeah,
and then they're done. Then it's over. And then it is over. What else we got before we wrap up for the weekend?
Hockey's got playoffs, but I was never into that much. The whole cover up for Joe Biden's mental decline. Have you seen some of the interviews out there where people are trying to justify, like, oh, we just didn't know. We were fooled. I mean, and they're still doing it.
It's the same.
A week or 2 ago.
It's the same defense. It's the same Comey defense. I didn't know.
Oh my God! Didn't Hillary Clinton use that, like the Benghazi hearing, and then she used that for a private server? I didn't know. I'm just a well-meaning old woman who didn't know any better. You know.
I didn't know. Didn't know.
And it's still watching it play out in real time on the 24-hour cycles is just
there is a little bit of fun to seeing the people who have always said that they're the smartest people in the room have to play dumb to avoid it.
Yeah. Like what's her face? Jasmine Crockett. She plays dumb until she gets to come after you.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff coming out of Crockett's mouth is crazy. Like unbelievably crazy.
Have the charges been filed yet against
the
McIntyre or whatever, the congresswoman who assaulted the ICE agent?
No. Did they file charges?
The rumor was it was going to come today.
Oh. I mean, that would be a really bad charge, like assaulting a federal officer.
Yahoo News.
No way.
Here we go. Yahoo News. Trump's Justice Department is about to charge a member of Congress. Listen, I have it on good authority that no one's above the law. I've heard that plenty of times. And
yeah,
I think I actually heard it from James Comey, ironically enough.
Yeah.
But I actually re-went and watched the footage. I don't have the exact quote, but I'm going to paraphrase it. I think the worst thing that this congresswoman has is that it's hard to claim that she wasn't assaulting someone when on camera you can hear her say, "I'll put hands on whoever I want."
Did she really?
She said something to that effect.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
That is too much. Oh, and again, like, give him a taste of having to get a lawyer for that. Like, if you think you're a Democrat and you could just walk in somewhere and like assault a federal officer and not get charged for it in the Trump administration,
let me correct the record. I do not want people to think that was the exact quote. As she was threatening to put hands on the officers, it is going to be hard for her to argue in court that she didn't assault them when, as she is assaulting them on camera, she is screaming, quote, "I touch whoever I want, mother effer."
Wow.
Right? I mean, that's a hard defense.
Right.
Your Honor, I didn't assault them. Well, what did you mean?
I didn't mean
when you
it.
said
You were being aggressive, okay? I was raiding an ICE facility, and they were telling me I would put my hands on whoever I want, mother.
Let me see if I can download the video.
That's so
and we can
fun.
Listen to it.
Oh, that like made my Friday better, you know?
Here we go. Here's the
that was gonna be really lame, and then that hit.
Let me add the video. Let's see if we can hear it.
What happened?
You can literally see her do that. She punched him. Look at it. She punched him.
Dude, oh my God.
It doesn't help her case that she is in the crowd in a bright red jacket.
That's what I was thinking. She stands out.
Because, like, it's very easy to see what she's doing. Let's watch it again. It was a little hard to hear the quote. I want to see if that's really the quote.
Yeah. Well, the video's enough to make me think I can see the action. I wonder, they kept slowing it down, so I couldn't understand it. But what a hilarious. Like that arm comes up. You can even see the red sleeve come up right. And she's throwing elbows. She was throwing New York elbows, man. I've seen enough New York elbows in my time to know what they are, and she was throwing them.
Let's watch it again. There she is, the bright red. Push him. Elbows. Yeah, she's, "I touch whoever I want." You hear that? I think that's where she pushing through. Yeah, there it is. You see that? The haymaker?
I know. Yeah. Oh! I'm just knocking on the door.
I didn't do that.
I know. My client doesn't even know how to punch, and that would be the truth. She doesn't know how to punch.
I had only watched the first thing with her doing the elbows. I didn't see her with the haymaker coming over people, and I didn't see the right cross.
There was a cross in there. I saw the hand come down like they were knocking on the door.
Well, watch her. See, guys.
Oh my gosh!
Right? I mean, like,
not knowing how to punch to throw her right.
There you go.
Brother,
boom.
Oh, what?
She's going to prison.
Oh yeah. Oh well, she's at least
because
gonna have to go to court.
I also have it on good authority that this is insurrection.
No.
Right? Isn't that what this is?
No, because she's not at the Capitol. Apparently, you can only have an insurrection when
she's
it's at the
storming a federal building and assaulting the police officers tasked with defending the building.
What an idiot!
This is insurrection-y. This is insurrection-y.
Multiple federal felonies.
Yeah.
Like just beating up the ICE agent. If you were truly peacefully protesting, couldn't you have just walked up to him with a sign and just chanted or something like they normally do? And when did they go from like sit-ins to trying to take over ICE detention facilities? The Democratic Party has swung in a really like militant direction in the past 4 months. More so than they have before. Maybe it was always that way. It's just now it's starting to come to the table. Starting to show up.
So, federal aggravated assault against an officer.
4 to 8 years?
Well, it wouldn't be aggravated. It would be simple because she didn't have a weapon. Simple assault, federal officer carries a maximum penalty of 1 year. It's a felony. It can be a felony.
And if they decide to throw the full weight of the law at her. Yeah, those felonies are heavy. They hit like haymakers.
Yeah.
Then should she hold office?
It might be a lower misdemeanor. It might be like a higher misdemeanor, but I'm pretty sure she hit multiple people. Let's go look one more time.
Yeah, let's just see. I mean, she's pushing. There's the elbows.
She's that guy.
1,
elbows.
2.
Touch whoever I want.
3, 4.
And then who's
5.
she punching? Who's she punching?
I don't know. I can't see that. Like, do you see the hand and she's knocking on somebody's front door?
Maybe the same person. So she's at least assaulted 2 people.
So the guy in the blue jacket right next to we're in the very, very middle there next to the person with the tan hat. It looks like she tapped his shoulder as he moved forward. So that's a simple assault right there. That is enough right there, right?
Yeah. She's on camera.
Throwing a freaking hook, dude.
It was a hammer punch. Like, ugh.
I know. Like, every punch hurts. Like everybody thinks, oh, that was a weak punch. No, if you get hit by a punch, it hurts. Trust me, I know. Like it hurts. And like I have it on good authority that if you are a felon, you shouldn't hold office. Mm-hmm. Like Donald Trump was told he can't hold office because he's a felon. Well, if she becomes a felon while she's in office, shouldn't she step aside? Maybe step down? I mean, she's facing charges. They wanted Eric Adams to step down for a bunch of procedural crimes that happened, right? They didn't want him to hold office because they thought he might be a felon or maybe even committed felonies.
The argument that she has, which is that she was there for oversight, disappears when she's on camera punching an officer. That's not oversight. It's not.
Yeah, it's assault.
It's assault.
It's simple assault. Now, the other piece is, did she try to actually storm past the fence?
Yeah.
That's the other crime.
Pushing.
So if she stormed past the fence, she's now trespassing.
Yeah.
On top of that, it's a forceful entry too, right? Because it's not like they were
obstruction.
Jeez.
You could throw the book at her.
What if one of them dies from a heart attack?
If they,
later?
if they communicated about this and said we're going to do this over text messages beforehand, you start looking at is it
conspiracy?
Seditious? I mean, like this is where you can get into really, really weird territory. Is it RICO? Like what is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot. If you want to throw the book at her, you can, and you should, because if she gets nothing, then every congressman knows they can just punch federal agents.
Yeah. And this will happen. And then once Democrats get power again, because someday they will get power again, do you think they're going to just walk away from this?
If they charge her and the Democrats get power again, I guarantee you that the auto pen will be working furiously.
Bravo. Good one there. Bravo.
Don't worry. The Democrats say, don't worry. The auto pen will fix it in 4 years.
Now, could you imagine if the next person elected, if they are a Democrat, gets elected and they still leave it on the Joe Biden settings? So everything comes off signed by Joe Biden. Nobody checked.
They're
like I can see that being all. Huh?
They're investigating it now. They're investigating the pardons because they're not the same signature. So they don't know. It might still carry the weight of constitutional law, but that doesn't mean they can't investigate to see how it happened, right? Just because you can't prosecute someone for it doesn't mean that you can't investigate it, subpoena them,
because I'd be curious to grand jury what Joe Biden's signature looked like a year ago versus today and 2 years ago. He may not have been able to sign. That was something I was thinking the other day, is that it would just been scribbles, because you get to that point in dementia where there's nothing left in the tank. You don't remember how to sign. You can't do circles.
Remember, we did a whole episode on this, how his resignation letter dropping out of the race was almost certainly his wife.
Yeah.
Because of how the letters were actually drawn.
Right.
I don't know if you saw this, but Donald Trump is taking credit for Taylor Swift no longer being hot. Do you see that?
It's like, if this is that moment where you're like, so you've been secluded for 9 months and this is the headline, is it real? I'd be like, no.
Listen, he's flying around the world making peace. It's only fitting that he goes to war with the Swifties. I mean, what else does he have to do?
It's the last group he's got to unseat. I mean, he's got a monopoly power.
Here's what he put out on Truth Social. Has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer, quote, hot?
Wow.
Now, I'm sure he's not just saying like she's gotten unattractive, that she's not like the talk of the town, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's the timing of when he actually said that. It just happened to correspond with the end of her tour, right? But she's kind of, because remember, last year the Democrats were floating her as, they're going to do a concert with Taylor Swift, and that's going to get the Swifties, and we're going to win this election because Taylor Swift's going to save the day. Donald Trump made it an issue. And they did polling, and what they found after Donald Trump dragged her into it is that Taylor Swift, her politics, made more people hate her than like her. So Donald Trump, in doing this, drove the narrative, and the polling I saw was that her political stance would actually hurt Biden if she came out and supported him.
That's freaking genius.
Which is a far cry from the Eras Tour at its height, when she was the queen of pop and could do no wrong.
Yeah. She was almost walking on water. I was waiting for a walking on water moment from Taylor Swift, right? Like she's finally become deified at this point.
Yeah. I think she's a very, very good musician, very, very good singer, very, very good songwriter.
I can't do that stuff. Yeah.
I always get frustrated when, like, she came up through country music, right? So she came up through conservative music, and she got fame, and she's turned. I mean, she has the right to whatever opinion she wants, right? But she wouldn't be able to stay in country if she made all these opinions known. I don't know. She can say whatever she wants, but it was very interesting that when Donald Trump took the jab at her, it had the effect that he wanted to have, which is it made her a partisan issue. Whereas before she was just a singer who can endorse. Now, at least after that, if she would have endorsed Kamala Harris and done a concert, the polling said it would have hurt Harris, and that more people would have voted for Trump.
which is crazy.
Crazy,
Just
right?
absolutely crazy. Trump sometimes reminds me of that Liam Neeson movie where he's got the broken bottles in his fingers and he's wrapped his hands up and he's about to fight the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just basically, he's out for
Yeah.
blood. This is the last stand. This is what Trump's doing in this election. Like this is the last stand.
Wow.
Because if liberalism continues to win in future elections, we're doomed. Right? This is everybody, always says you're just so bleak and fatalist, right?
Mhm.
We were close to having Hillary Clinton as president. We were dangerously close to having Kamala Harris president or Joe Biden and Supreme Court picks. Like it would have been one generation away from disaster. It always is. I mean, that was the very first thing that Max would always push me along. The old Reagan term. We're always like one generation away from being completely ruined.
One generation away from losing everything, and that is the cost. So we can end it here. That is the cost of our freedom. It is not. I mean, it's obviously paid in blood, right? But the cost of our freedom is eternal vigilance. That you never get a break. There's no vacation. We are perpetually, in perpetuity, on the wall, defending. Because they only need to catch you sleeping once. Well, that's it for this edition of the podcast. If you like it, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow. We're on YouTube, we're on Rumble. Follow us there. We also have the audio edition of the podcast available everywhere audio podcasts are found. That's it for this edition. My name is Max McGuire.
I'm Josh Hammerling.
Remember, the fight to take back the country is not over yet, but the only way we win is if we all stand and fight together. See you next time. Have a great weekend.